The Cabinet Secretary for Youth Affairs, Creative Economy and Sports, Honorable Ababu began his Saturday morning with a sensitization meeting with sports stakeholders and administrators at the Kipchoge Complex in Nandi County.
Chochote kinachohatarisha riadha yetu, chochote kinachohatarisha michezo, kinahatarisha taifa letu kwa jumla. Any threat to our athletics pedigree is actually a matter of national security. It is a matter of grave national concern. And that is why, as a government, we have declared total, relentless, unwavering, unequivocal, and ambiguous war on doping. Our mantra in government is zero tolerance to doping. Zero doping.
Decisively, Honorable Ababu expressed the government's firm position on doping, giving an assurance that his ministry was determined to a total war against doping.
We must go for those agents. We must go for those coaches. We must go into those training camps. And if you are running a camp that has been turned into the classical space for doping, we are coming for you. We are coming for you. Ndani ya hiyo kambi yako tunakuja. Tunakuja na tutaonana na wewe mundu humundu. Face to face, we are coming. Because we cannot be banning a young person for 8 years. In athletics, they ban you for 8 years. They have finished you. Finished, because sports is very age sensitive. This is an age sensitive undertaking. So ukipigwa marufuku miaka 8 tena huko na miaka ingine. Sasa miaka ingine utatoa wapi? Alafu yule ambaye alichochea upatikane na hiyo madawa, yeye anaendelea tu, anaenda kutafuta another one, the next victim. Anaenda kutafuta the next athlete. Because they know nothing will be done to them. So coaches, so kuna makocha hapa. Hey, agents. Kuna agents hapa. My friends, once you are not my friends, I should not call you my friends. We are coming for you. And as we deal with the back end, the athlete is just the back end. We will go to the source and we will go to the pipeline. Na tutalima nyinyi. Haki ya Mungu. You know, there is no way you will not destroy this thing that has taken people. Kenyans from the late Wilson Kiprugut Arap Chumo, the first Kenyan to win an Olympic medal, to Kipchoge Keino, to Eliud, to all these Faith Kipyegon, it has taken Kenyans incredible effort to build this formidable global pedigree. Alafu nataka kumchezea hiyo. Alafu tukuruhusu. Unadanganya. No way. We will deal with you perpendicularly. Tutadili tu na wewe like a common criminal, because you are a common criminal.
The CS further reiterated that the war on doping had been intensified by the multi-agency team tasked with upscaling the fight.
We must protect this proud heritage, we must protect this proud pedigree, and we have gone the extra mile in that war. This is the first government, this government led by His Excellency William Ruto, is the first government, number one, to identify the anti-doping war as a strategic national interest. And number two, to allocate resources to that war. Huu mwaka wa kwanza tu, Mheshimiwa William Ruto akiwa rais, tumetenga shilingi bilioni 3.7, 3.7 billion shillings that we have set aside to facilitate this all-out war against doping. It is a significant financial outlay. And we want these resources to be put to good use to end this menace. When we came to office a year ago in this sporting arena, we inherited many crises. But the top 2 crises we inherited, number one was the suspension of Kenyan football. Kenyan football was frozen. Number 2 was the threat of banning of Kenyan athletics by World Athletics. And we moved very fast as a government to sort both. And that is why I love to say, and I'll repeat it today, that Kenya's #1 export to the world is not tea, is not coffee, is not tourism. Kenya's premium export to the world is our athletics prowess and our sporting heritage. That is what we export to the world. This is a serious matter, and we are going to disrupt this doping syndicate. We are going to disrupt it. And let me tell you, I am convinced, where I am seated as your Minister for Sports, that many of our athletes that are testing positive are victims, not perpetrators. They are victims of unscrupulous agents, of unethical coaches, of money-hungry medical practitioners, and pharmacists, and chemists, and a whole network that wants to push athletes to incredible limits so that you can reap from the athlete. And so many athletes are finding themselves testing positive for substances whose source they do not know. And when we focus on the athlete, we miss the whole picture.
Later on, the CS attended a Thanksgiving service for the Athletics Kenya President, Lieutenant General retired Jackson Tuwei, in Uasin Gishu County, Keses constituency, following his election as the Vice President of World Athletics.
In a world full of unscrupulous characters, you are genuine and honest. And in a world where people struggle to define themselves, to even say who they are, you have a story that is so plain. And today, the whole country knows who Lieutenant General Jackson Tuwei truly is. And isn't it a beautiful story? It's a beautiful story. And I agree that this story must be immortalized for eternity, so that generation after generation we learn from this story. Kama wizara ya michezo na serikali kwa jumla tunajivunia sana General aliponidokezea nia ya kuwania wadhifa huu. Alinidokezea wakati ambao rais wa shirikisho hili la ulimwengu, Lord Sebastian Coe, alikuwa ametutembelea hapa nchini Kenya mwezi wa Januari mwaka huu. Na katika pitapita hizo, shughuli hizo za kuwa na huyo mgeni hapa, General akanidokezea nia yake. Na nikamwambia, by all means, let's go for it. Let's go for it.
The Cabinet Secretary, while conveying his gratitude and those of the government of Kenya Kwanza to the General Tuwei, he revealed that the Kenya Kwanza government, through his ministry, had worked closely with General Tuwei as the Athletics Kenya president to deliver key projects of the ministry.
As a ministry, we are very proud of a number of key projects we are undertaking very closely with General. And a lot of those projects are legacy projects. Legacy project number 1 is the Sports for Climate Action. General has actually led Kenya to once again take leadership in Africa and in the world for positioning ourselves as a leader, a thought leader, an action leader on sports for climate action, deploying sports for climate action. And you know, our president, His Excellency William Ruto, today is a global icon on climate action adaptation, climate change adaptation. And I'm so happy that the work of General Tuwei and Athletics Kenya is adding momentum to the leadership our president is providing to Africa and to the world. Our president 2 months ago hosted the first ever Africa Climate Summit to set the agenda of climate change adaptation for Africa. And as we prepare to go to COP28 in Dubai next month, our president is going to be a colossus, a leader on the global stage on climate change adaptation. And the work of General Tuwei and Athletics Kenya on Sports for Climate Action is part of that momentum we're building behind our president. You have seen the air sensors that we have installed in many places. We have one in Kapsabet, we have one here in Lobo, we have one in several places. They are part of this program to ensure that we monitor the air and ensure that our athletes are running in the right environment. The second program we are working with closely is on welfare for our athletes. For far too long, our athletes have suffered. Our athletes retire and live in horrible conditions. My first call of duty when I was appointed cabinet secretary last year was to travel to Kericho to bury the first man to win Kenya and Africa's first Olympics medal, Kiprugut Arap Chumo. And as I buried Chumo, I felt ashamed as a Kenyan of the conditions in which he had lived after retirement and the situation in which he had died. And we made a commitment with the General and Athletics Game that we will change this situation. And I'm glad that General once again is leading in that very important intervention. General has led Athletics Kenya to sign an agreement with the Housing Finance Corporation to provide affordable housing to our athletes. And so when you are active, Mora, Faith, when you're active, now we have an arrangement with Housing Finance where you can access affordable housing. So every time you get some pesa mfukoni, you spare some, we help you put in that program to secure a roof over your head. Okay? That is an important intervention that is now extending to a pension program. Very soon, General will be unveiling a pension program so that when you retire, you'll be pensionable just like any employee who has lived. And you can have a pension, you can have something to live on. I'm very proud of those interventions of a welfare nature. Number 3, we have worked with General to improve the rewards for our athletes. Now we have a better scheme. Previously, when you broke the world record in this country, you landed at JKIA, you were given a sip of mursik, and we sang for you, and we garlanded you, and then you went home, and that was the end of the story. We have changed that. We have a scheme. Every world record now guarantees you 5 million shillings cash immediately. Faith, siyo iliingia mfukoni? Iliingia. Hata Kelvin Kiptum juzi amevunja rekodi ya marathon. The same day he arrived, his 5 million was waiting for him. Faith, si hata nyumba ulipata? Yes. That is the kind of arrangement we have done to have a scheme, better rewards, better allowances, better circumstances of training. Even the way we now prepare our athletes for international competitions is different.